What up YouTube, GamingGuru91 here, and today is my video on the playoff update for round 1. And I just want to apologize for not posting for the last almost week and a half, 2 weeks, because I was actually away on a school trip in Alberta, and for that reason I actually was not able to post. They had no Wi-Fi there or anything. I actually did have pre-recorded settings, or not settings, sorry, pre-recorded videos, but they just weren't really working out properly because of Wi-Fi. But so I'm gonna update you guys on what's happening around the league in round 1. So I actually watched a lot of basketball games in round 1 this season. Like this round 1 was amazing. Many of you may have heard it's actually possibly ranked as the best round 1 in the history of the NBA. So we'll start with the only sweep in the playoffs. So you got Miami over Charlotte. So that was almost obvious. Miami over Charlotte. I mean, Big Al was Charlotte's only chance of even winning a couple games, and he was not 100%. He was injured. He had a walking boot on his leg, and they beat him 4-0. That was obvious for me. So next is one that I personally, kind of feel for. Toronto against Brooklyn. If you guys don't know, Toronto is my favorite team. They've been my favorite team for the last about 5 years, and I was watching Game 7 there. I personally thought Lowry got fouled on the ground, not by Pierce or Garnett, but on the ground by Garnett, because him and Williams were reaching in, I think. But that would put Lowry at the free throw line in the bonus with about 1.5 seconds left. And Lowry, the way he was hitting free throws that game, would have maybe missed one. But he would have hit at least one. That game would have gone at least in OT. There's no way that game should end the way it did. Toronto got robbed of that game. I mean, not to say that Brooklyn's a bad team. Brooklyn did deserve that win still. I mean, they played just as hard, if not harder, than the Raptors. But the Raptors did not get the best calls in that series. Sorry, guys. I'm just not really feeling well either. But I think you guys know that the calls weren't really fair at times. And, I mean, that's the way it goes. So, Toronto lost to Brooklyn in Game 7 by 1 point. Then the next game we got is the Wizards versus the Bulls. And surprisingly, the Wiz actually beat the Bulls, I believe, in 6. And that, for me, was a big upset because Chicago, second round against Miami, Noah would have... I mean, they have a rivalry for sure. Noah hates LeBron. And LeBron, I don't really think he hates Noah, but he likes to prove people wrong, kind of. This whole group of people have been trying to say what he's bad at, and Noah's one of the people that kind of just adds to that, saying, oh yeah, he's bad at this, bad at that, I don't like him, he's not good enough, all that kind of stuff. Excuse me. But, I mean, that was a solid series. So, Wiz against the Pacers are happening right now. And if the Wizards make it on to the Heat, which they have a chance to because they actually won Game 1 yesterday, that would be an amazing matchup, I think, because John Wall would take Mario Chalmers or Norris go to school, I think, personally. So they might have to put LeBron or Wade. I think they put Wade on him personally. So, but back to the first round here. Then the last series was the Hawks against the Pacers. So that went to Game 7, where the Pacers won in Game 7. But the Hawks actually squandered opportunity in Game 6 to come back and win. They were down by 2, I think. They had a chance for an open 3. But Lou Williams made a really bad pass. So they actually could not even get a proper shot off or anything. So that just completely screwed them over for that game. And at the end of the day, the Pacers still won. But, I mean, that's not very good. If you see Frank Vogel, he's always mad. The Pacers aren't playing up to how they were playing at the beginning of the year. Second half of the year, them and the Heat were all playing really bad. But right now the point is, the Heat still kept up their hot streak by sweeping the Bobcats. And the Pacers had to take the Hawks to 8 games. And the Hawks, I'm not saying are a bad team. Millsap solid. Teague went off in these playoffs. But I'm just saying, I still think Indiana's really looking weak right now. Miami, if Miami plays Indiana, sorry, I think Miami will take it in 6. But now to the Western side. So we had a lot of good games in this. We saw a lot of good series in this Western Conference this year. Portland against Houston. I want to start with that because did anyone see that buzzer beater? Whoo! Was that nice? I saw it. I was watching that game live. 0.6 seconds. Boom. Lillard clutch. Kobe was like that. Now he's kind of taking over that really clutch guy role, if you know what I mean. Because he's hit a couple, I think 3 or 4 buzzer beaters this season, including that one, I believe. So he's definitely gonna be a solid player now and in the future. So Portland took that in 6, and that was a really good series of mine. Like, I really like watching that series. Kind of feel bad for Harden, but Harden actually did not have a great playoffs. If anyone was paying attention to his stats, he shot really low percentages. And assist-wise, I think he was fine, and his other stats were all pretty similar. But shooting-wise, he was really low. And then the next series we have is the Dallas-San Antonio one. That actually went to 7 games, where San Antonio ended up destroying Dallas in Game 7. It would have been much worse if Dallas had not let up towards the end. And I thought that was a good series. I've not watched that series very often because I personally find the Spurs boring to watch. I know they get wins, so that's what matters. But I mean, they're a slower paced team, which is nothing wrong as long as you're getting the wins. I mean, they got an older team except for really Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green, I guess. Like in their big rotation, Splitter's not super old, but overall they're pretty old guys. And I mean, they're getting wins. That's what matters. So regardless of what I say, wins are what matters in the end. So the next series that I'm gonna talk about is the Grizzlies versus the OKC Thunder. So the Grizz and Thunder had a pretty solid series. There was a lot of stuff going on in that series. Sorry. If anyone remembers, when in Game 6, Zebo actually punched Sam Adams. He got a suspension in Game 7 for that, but that was huge because without him, they had like one half of their interior rebounding presence. Because Marc Gasol is solid, but Zebo is a better offensive player. Like, he makes more plays with the ball in his hand than Gasol does. So that's the reason why I think that they lost Game 7. I think OKC would have won Game 7 regardless, but I think it would have been much closer. I think it would have been maybe an OT game, and OKC wins by about 4-7, somewhere around there, I think. But that series is pretty solid. KD took over in the last couple games, and after that Mr. Unreliable newspaper headline, he had to prove something, and he definitely proved it. So, I mean, no doubters for KD anymore. He's definitely Mr. Believable this time. So, next we got the final series, Golden State against the Clippers. This series was freaking dope. I watched 3 out of 7 games. And I actually watched, I believe, Game 6 where the Warriors beat the Clippers, I think, unless I'm getting mixed up. But I believe the Warriors beat the Clippers in Game 6, and that was a solid game. Crawford was going off, but I think Clippers beat Golden State. Crawford was going off. I mean, Crawford's always going off, but one thing I noticed about Crawford's shot is really weird. It's not like a proper thing. It's like he kind of just throws it up and it almost goes in, if you know what I mean. I mean, I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. Like, obviously, when you take a shot, you just throw it up, but his is different. He kind of just walks up. Like, I'll show you with Melo right here. So this is what he does. He'll kind of go like this. So dribble. He kind of walks up. He just throws it up like that. If you know what I mean. Like, just lobs it up all the time. But if it goes in, you get results. That's what matters, obviously. So the Clips took that 1-7. I personally called the Clips in 6, and I was wrong on that, but. I mean, I still called the winner. I just didn't call the right games. But I think the Clippers, they actually beat OKC yesterday. I have Clippers in, again, 6 against the Thunder because I think Thunder will win 1 game at home, and then they'll win 1 game in LA, and then they'll lose 1 game at home, as well as 1 game in LA. I think that they'll lose 2 games at home because they're the higher seed. So they'll lose game 1, which they already did. They'll lose game 4. Then I got them losing game 5 and 6 personally. I think they'll lose back to back games. But so this is just the first round playoffs, and I know that for my team, I was gonna do the playoff pack openings. And what happens is I've been gone for a little while, and I've been really busy with school. I haven't been able to earn VC as much, so I'm gonna try to buy my VC this time. Usually I don't like to, but today I'll try to buy my VC. And so I will have that up as soon as I get my PSN card, or as soon as I get my VC. So thanks for hanging in there, guys. And I know I haven't been back in a little while. And also I will have my Oli Mata giveaway winner up within the next few days. So guys, like for more. Comment on what you think is going to happen in these second round playoffs of such an amazing playoffs already. And guys, subscribe for